What's up, everybody? We're back with another DM's Guild review. We've got 5 more free adventures for your table, and if you've played any of them, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. Green screen's back today, but I'm keeping the chair. But our first adventure is UPUTA by Alan J. Robinson. A monolith stood hidden in stone, where shadow clings, and the wind whispers tales of forgotten times. A door of unusual design, imposing and ageless, set seamlessly into the surrounding wall. The upper half bore the graceful curve of a rising sun, while the lower portion took on the stern rigidity of a square. As if defying the norms of nature and architecture, it was a sight both confusing and intriguing, holding the gaze of the beholders. Our brave adventurers found themselves before this curious door. 5 cryptic runes were etched upon its surface, each one a riddle cloaked in obscurity. These characters spelled out UPUTA, UPUTA, a term that, in the distant language of the Maoris, meant door. Yet this truth served only to feed the riddle, a circular piece of wisdom that led back to the problem. Below the runes, a keyhole gazed back, empty yet teasing the promise of entry. The door stood flush with the wall, the edges so finely fitted that not a single hair could be slid between the stone and door. No marks on the stone floor betrayed the door's direction of swing, no hints as to whether it opened inward or outward. Its hinges were artfully hidden, as well as any trace of a handle, adding another layer to the mystery. As the party puzzled over the door, a ticking timer loomed ominously beside them. Each tick was a relentless reminder of the mysterious countdown, whose purpose was unknown. The seconds turned to minutes, minutes to hours, yet the door remained an obstinate barrier. Attempts to decipher the door's secret proved futile. The keen eyes of the adventurers found no trace of traps, and their spellcasters detected no whiff of magic. Some thought to employ the spell of the mage hand, yet the door's colossal weight laughed at such an attempt. Others considered the spell reduce, but alas, the door's sturdy hinges made it part of the wall, an obstacle far too large to shrink. One adventurer even proposed a solution of minor alchemy, intending to morph the stone into more manageable material, yet even this tactic would require an absurd amount of time, a luxury they did not have as the relentless timer continued to count down. Then, with a triumphant collective effort, they finally pushed the door open, only to find that it was swung outward, and behind it lay the ultimate test. A surprising foe leaped into their midst, the killer rabbit of Karnbog, known in lore for its deceptive ferocity, lunged at them. It was almost comical, a beast so out of place, yet its teeth were sharp, and its intent was clear. And so the adventure of the UPUTA door concluded as abruptly as it had begun, leaving our heroes not in the expected grandeur of a hidden chamber filled with treasures, but in the midst of a battlefield with the most unlikely enemy. So what did you guys think of that one? You know you want to fight a bunny, and if you play RuneScape like I do, this might just be a reference to the killer bunny in RuneScape, or the killer bunny in Minecraft, actually. If you like that adventure, leave it down below, but we're moving right on to The Summoning by Justin Doty. A first-level adventure, just like the previous story. I think I forgot to mention that. In a time draped with shadow and menace, where villains lurked behind closed doors, an insidious plot emerged from the depths of the homely Townsick family dwelling. My friends, the tale I bring to you tonight is one of danger, courage, and the dire struggle against malevolent forces hell-bent on unleashing a mad demon upon our world. The sinister heartbeat of this tale revolved around the feared cultists, Ruckus Smitten, a gang of ruthless bandits known as Fangs. Beneath the very roof of the Townsick home, they drew their malevolent plan like a dark tapestry. Within the home's subterranean chambers, Ruckus had begun the hour-long ritual to summon a fiend from the realm of nightmare. But hope was not lost. A band of brave adventurers stepped forth, their destinies intertwined with the fate of the Townsick family. The hapless victims of the unfolding horror, Janet, the human commoner, and Thomas, her young teenage son, were locked inside a small animal cage in the ritual room, begging for salvation. In the veiled grip of danger, our heroes arrived at the quaint front door of the town-sick house, unaware of the evil within. The long hallway that greeted them was strewn with family mementos, torn clothing, and the chill of fear. Blood smeared the entrance of room 1, and the violence that had unfolded was hinted at by the lifeless bodies sprawled all over the threshold. Across the hallway lay the door to room 2. With every creaking step, the adventurers traversed through rooms, revealing the seemingly normal yet uncannily chilling remnants of the family's life. Dining tables, cooking materials, extinguished fires, and bookshelves filled with mundane texts and popular children's stories. A sinister undercurrent pulsed through each corner of the house, echoing the abominable transformation happening in its depths. Below its basement, the haunting sound of an unholy ritual echoed. The air thickened with fear, and the shadows seemed to dance. But the heroes were undeterred. If they moved with stealth, they could surprise Ruckus and interrupt the ritual. But any misstep, any ultimate clash with the Fang Guardian, the place would set the whole house into combat, room by room in a fight against the clock. What an enemy Ruckus was, protected by dark devotion. His gaze was steely, and his resolve to complete the ritual unshakable. Armed with a menacing scimitar and the ability to hurl baleful flames, he would fight till his last breath. The stakes were high. If the adventurers took too long, the dreaded madness demon would be unleashed, attacking all living creatures within the house in a frenzy of bloodlust. This could trigger a cinematic battle, adding more uncertainty and horror to the chaos. The adventurers' deeds in this home of shadows would have far-reaching consequences. If they were to emerge victorious, the remaining bandits might seek revenge, or if shown mercy, turn into unexpected allies. The town-sick family, if saved, would be a beacon of gratitude and support. However, if the demon was unleashed, and it escaped, a rampage of destruction would follow, prompting inquiries from city guards and more adventurers. So, my friends, hold your breath and venture forth into the darkness, for in its heart of this terror, the true metal of the heroes is forged. Remember, not all that glitters is gold. In the face of evil, the light of courage shines to the brightest. And that, dear friends, is the end of our tale. So what did you guys think of the head adventure? I really liked it. It's your typical cultist adventure, and I decided to tell it kind of like a bard would, because I just finished this book, Anything Full Murder Hobo. If you guys haven't seen it, you've got to check it out. It's a great book. Our next adventure is Murder on the Orien Express, a 10th level adventure by T.V. Jacobs, who also happened to tell one of my favorite adventures, the Ninja Turtle adventure, if you guys remember that one, in the land of Eberron. A locomotive known as the Orien Express snaked through the landscape, its heartbeat echoing through the valleys and peaks. Its passengers were a medley of identities, each carrying their own stories, secrets, and motives. Hareth and Helikos were the Kalishtar agents of the King's Dark Lanterns. Their stark and contrasting appearances hinted at their unique personalities. Hareth, with her striking white hair, stern jawline, and ostentatious black suit. Helikoth, with a gentler visage, tucked beneath his man bun and a cloak of mystery surrounding him. Duty had brought them here, and informant had whispered of a threat to King Balinor's sovereignty. The murder that unfolded on the train, however, was beyond their control. It was far too chaotic and unprofessional. Silently observing the crowd was the swift-stride shifter, Talon. Her jet black hair highlighted her feline features, which included large eyes, cat-like ears, and a slightly flattened nose. Her journey was one of exploration and adventure, seeking to experience the rush of the city after years in the wild. As a witness to the aftermath of the murder, Talon's senses picked up the scent of Vanu, giving birth to suspicion. However, the spirit of adventure that guided her actions was far from malicious. Then there was the war-forged oaken mace, a figure as sturdy and resilient as the name suggests, an ex-soldier now journeying to the City of Towers to participate in a Skyblades contest. He exudes an air of quiet mystery. The murder intrigued him. How could the perpetrator have escaped so swiftly unless they were gifted with flight or other extraordinary abilities? Unbeknownst to everyone, the radiant Tarnell elf, known as Vanuth, had a secret within. Beneath her tribal tattoos and charming demeanor, she was Dabrielle, a radiant idol. She had taken on the disguise of becoming the living avatar of a patron ancestor. Although she claimed to have spent the night of the murder with Ralseti, the truth was a darker narrative. She ended Ralseti's life. Dabrielle fled to the cargo car as her true identity unraveled, turning the cluttered space into a battleground. Fearless adventurers pursued her, engaging in fierce combat that only subsided when Dabrielle, at half her strength, attempted to escape to the outside roof of the rail. Confessing her crime, she spoke of her anger at Ralseti's dismissive attitude, leading to her violent retribution. The adventure's climax unfolded in the cargo car amidst stacks of boxes and equipment as the adventurers fought to subdue Dabrielle. With the perpetrator finally captured, Tomf, the train's conductor, guided the Orien Express into route. Dabrielle was handed over to the Sharn Watch, and the passengers finally breathed a sigh of relief. As the train journeyed on, the passengers sat in silence, their agendas and secrets now open after the investigation. The excitement did not wane as the City of Towers approached, marking the end of the journey and the beginning of countless others. So what did you guys think of that one? It's a 10th level adventure, which is kind of high up there. I was expecting them to derail the train, and in my head, I wanted to add the consequence of if your players just want to like fireball and boom boom shoot, you're going to derail the train. It's going to fall off or something's going to happen. So that's how I would run it, and if you guys like it, leave it down in the comments. Next up is The Towering Inferno by Alan J. Robinson, a 5th level adventure. They were in pursuit of a menacing wizard, who led the adventurers to a portal that spat them out into an unfamiliar place. The grand spectacle unveiled was a room of awe-inspiring scale, the apex of a towering fortress. But the wizard was nowhere to be found. Instead, the distinct smell of smoke greeted them. The heroes were in a tower of fire. There was no time to dawdle. The flames were creeping and the smoke was thickening. Descending from their lofty landing point, the adventurers stumbled into an uncanny aviary. The denizens of these cages were owlbears. Surprised by their arrival was a young man, an apprentice of the wizard. "Escape," he warned, blaming a witch for the deadly configuration. He fled the room no sooner than the freed owlbears set upon the party. Once a haven of comfort, the 6th floor's bedroom is a mess. A mural of the wall laid bare a part of the wizard's past, hinting at his mother's pagan roots. As smoke crept under the door, they mulled over this revelation. Was the witch the supposed arsonist, or the pagan woman in the mural? A formidable obstacle awaited them on the 5th floor. A hefty statue of the wizard had been strategically placed to bar their descent. Time was running out and the smoke was filling up their lungs. Who had the strength to move on or to barricade their path? The 4th floor added a twist to their fiery mystery. A librarian laid with tomes was burning. The desk at his heart was laid bare with open books on the fire. The wizard was known to possess such knowledge. So, could it be the apprentice studying these fiery enchantments? A horrifying sight awaited them on the 3rd floor. It was a laboratory of nightmares where humanoids were shackled to tables. Amid the smoke and cries of the tormented, they found a pentagram similar to the one seen around the woman's neck in the mural upstairs. The witch was tied to this tower, not merely a vengeful outsider. A 2nd floor unveiled a farm of mushrooms, now alight with spewing nauseating spores. On the wall, a cryptic message read, "All 5 of you will burn." The sense of being watched pricked their skin. A hag eye, The witch's seeing stone must observe their every move. Finally, they reached the ground floor. The foyer was a raging inferno, and a figure of terror stood in its heart. An old crone, untouched by the burning chaos around her, her proclamation echoing above the cackle of fire. I will reduce this den of sin to pile and ash and rubble. Nothing leaves here alive. The witch's story unfolds. As her resentment towards her son, the wizard, became clear. The battle ensued, with the survival precariously balanced on their blade's edge. Thus, in the maw of a burning tower, they fought for their lives, unraveled the layers of a twist, and faced the consequences of a mother's fury. Hopefully, they were able to escape. So what did you guys think about that one? It seems like a pretty cool mystery with a ticking clock that happens to be the fire. I think this is a great way to do some hags. They need to be smart and they need to be vicious. But going right into our next adventure, everybody, it's The House Always Wins by Jonathan King, a 1st to 4th level adventure. In the city that never sleeps, where magic crackles in the air, an adventure waits beyond every corner. There stands an alluring structure glistening under the moonlight, known as the House of Riches. It pulses with charm that lures adventurers from all walks of life. Nestled within its lavish hallways and opulent gaming rooms, tales of fortune and misfortune unfold, and such is our tale of daring, wit, and dash of uncanny luck. Under the twinkling stars, a band of unlikely companions make their way through the city's cobblestone streets. They were drawn to the House of Riches. Like moths to a flame, they were greeted with a symphony of chatter, clinking coins, and the intoxicating thrill of chance as they encountered the grand entrance. The adventurers, a cunning rogue, a stoic warrior, a jovial bard, and a wise wizard, knew they were on the threshold of a thrilling journey. The first was a card game of strange design, with the opponents being a motley crew of skeletons possessing an uncanny knack for bluffing. The stakes were high, and not just in gold or gemstones. The prizes were magical, promising to grant boons or curses in future battles. The room's energy oscillated between triumph and despair. With each card draw, despite having faced skeletal opponents devoid of any readable expressions, the adventurers managed to outwit them, earning themselves a boon and an open invitation to return and play again. Next came the main hall of the House of Riches, filled with games of chance and patrons from all walks of life. After their recent victory, the adventurers felt a surge of boldness. They bet their hard-earned gold on a game of luck, rolling a 20-sided die, and each faces promise, fortune, or ruin. The room fell silent as the die rolled across the table, coming to rest with the mark of 20 gleamed upward. The crowd erupted in cheers as the adventurers found themselves richer by 4 times their bet, with a healing potion in their possessions and tales to tell. The final challenge came in the form of a coveted prize, the lucky Almaraz foot, rumored to grant favor to the most daring and fortunate. As the adventurers faced trials and tribulations, this magic charm, with the twitching red fur foot of the mythical Almaraz, was their most sought-after reward. The foot was theirs after trials filled with thrills. Its magic flowed into them, bolstering their skills and imbuing them with the blessing of Almaraz. And so the sun began to rise on the city, casting its golden glow. On the House of Riches, our adventurers, now victorious, stepped out into the dawnlight, pockets heavier with gold, hearts lighter with triumph, and a magical talisman in hand. Their adventure had ended, but the tales of their victory were beginning to unfold within the city. So that's pretty cool, everybody. There's a whole bunch of different mini games and handouts that you can give to your players with this adventure here. And I would even say, if you guys have ever seen Supernatural, the bar episode where they go in and they have to bet a little bit of their, I think it's their life or their luck, and then they put their coins on it and it increases their life or luck. this would be really cool to apply to this adventure right here. But that's just my 2 cents, everybody. If you liked any of these adventures, just leave it down below. And if you think I should do any more kinds of adventures or have any suggestions for the next one, you know where to put it. But I'll see y'all later, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.